Okay, here we're going to take a look at multiplying two binomials. We're going to distribute each term from the first binomial, right, into the entire second binomial. And then we'll also take a look at what we call the FOIL method. So the first method I was describing is just simply using the distributive property. Take 5a and it'll get distributed into this whole binomial, 3a plus 1. Then we'll take that second minus 2 term from the first binomial, minus 2, and then we'll get that distributed into the 3a plus 1. All right, don't skip this step. It's important that you write out all your steps so you can kind of keep track of what's going on, and you can keep track of your sign rules too. So let's distribute 5a, right, times 3a, and then 5a plus 1. Go ahead and multiply that out. 15a squared. Then we'll have plus 5a. And then secondly, we'll take this negative 2, and negative 2 gets multiplied times 3a. And then negative 2 will get multiplied times plus 1. So let's write that out. Negative 6a, and then minus 2 usually. Now this is not always. Usually you'll be able to combine these middle terms, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We've just done our distributive property and we're always checking to see if we can combine like terms, and we can. So we'll bring down the 5a squared, negative 1a, right, or just negative a. And we'll just bring down that minus 2. That's it. Okay? So that is just simply using the distributive property. We took each term from that first binomial and we set it up as being distributed into that second binomial. Now when we use the FOIL method, I'm going to show you the FOIL method here in B. When you use the FOIL method, that's just a nice way to organize the distributive property process, right? And what FOIL stands for is first, outer, inner, and last, right? And it tells us what order to multiply the terms of the binomials in. So it helps a lot if you draw the lines. You can draw these little lines between the two things you're multiplying. And so the first multiplication, F, is for first. 9x times 9x is 81x squared, all right? Now we're going to do the outer terms. So we're going to go 9x times y, right? So I'm going to put a little over outer. So 9x times y, and it's positive, so we'll have plus 9xy, okay? And then inner, so the two inner terms, right? 9x times y again, so that's and they're positive, so 9xy. Okay, and then last, first, outer, inner, and last. The last two terms are y times y, so that gives us y squared. All positive again. We're going to combine those middle terms because we have two xy terms, right? Let's go ahead and finish this one up. 81x squared, we have 9 plus 9 is 18xy's. And then bring down that y squared term. And we're done. So there's your first, outer, inner, and last multiplication for the FOIL method. So let's try the FOIL method again with C, example C here. Okay, so remember first, I'm going to draw my lines. It's okay to draw these little lines, totally fine. First we have 7y times 7y, but 7 times 7. If you said 49, you're doing great. And then, of course, y times y is y squared. All right, outer. So we have 7y times negative 2. It's going to be minus 14y. Okay, inner. Now we have positive 2 times positive 7y. So now we'll have plus 14y. 2 times negative 2, last. And so that's minus 4. Okay, like we did before, we have to check to make sure we can combine like terms. So we can. Look what we have. We have minus 14 and plus 14. What's going to happen here, you guys? These two middle terms are going to cancel themselves out. And so we're only left with this first and the last here. Okay, so let's bring those down for our final answer. 49y squared and minus 4. And you're going to want to start noticing patterns when you have certain degreed polynomials that are multiplied. What we have in this problem in example C, so we have 7y and we have 2 and 2, but what's different about them is we have one that is plus and one that's minus. Now the word for this is conjugates. Okay, so when we have the same numbers and variables but different or opposite signs or operations between them, we call that conjugates. And when you multiply two conjugates, when you FOIL them, right, those outer and inner, those two middle terms are going to cancel. So just watch your signs and always check to see if you can combine like terms. If you follow that process of distribute or FOIL, and then you check to combine like terms, you'll see things cancel or combine, and everything will be okay. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, keep practicing, and you'll get better and better at this. I just know it. All right, talk to you soon.